Hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's 17 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which makes it 61, which is, midsummer for me. People are out, garage sales are going on, and I put on the jacket to my lightweight tracksuit because I'm not quite sure whether I should be putting sun on my incision at the moment or at all. Mind you, I must say that this top that I'm wearing does cover that up, but I definitely need to do a bit more research into what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do. And I think that has a lot to do with common sense rather than just straight medical advice. And my sense is that I probably have done enough sun in my life. And now I need to be much more careful. Which, quite honestly, I have been over the last few years. I have been very aware of the fact that I have done a lot of sun. I have done a lot of sun. It rhymes. I have done a lot of sun. Okay, so here we go. I'm off to get my hair cut, which is why I'm going over the bumpy road that you all know. Ozzy always calls it the dead body road. Oh, there's a lady out mowing her lawn. So we've got some really pretty trees in bloom, which I know you'd like pictures of, and I really should stop the car and take them, but I'm on a bit of a mission here. Plus, on the way back I won't be able to stop because Dougie is on his way over this afternoon. And I'm hoping to convince him to help me tidy up my deck. It was so cute because I wrote to him and said, bring dirty clothes, which means I'm going to put you to work. And it's quite cute because Dougie has to be one of those delightful people that it is his pleasure to help me do things. Do you know what I mean? You really get a sense that it's his pleasure to do that for me. And I don't do it very often, but normally about once or twice a year I go, well, I've got you. Let's quickly do this. And Benji is the same. If ever I needed Benji to do anything, he'd be here in a heartbeat. So I'm very, very grateful for that, especially now as I'm getting older and things are getting more difficult for me to do. Although I hate to admit that. There's this part in me that really doesn't want to let go of being capable of everything. That is, I think, part of the biggest lesson about getting older is you have to learn to let go. You can't do it all, and you actually need help. Alright, so I'm on a bit of a rant here, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this. So I go to the doctor. To get the stitches out on Thursday. And he takes one look at the bandage on my back and says, is this the original bandage I put on a week ago? And I said, yes. He said, you haven't taken it off and put fresh bandage on every day? And I said, no, did you tell me to? No, I would have thought that was obvious. And I said, well, interesting. And then I looked at him and I said, how exactly did you think I was going to change a bandage on my back? I don't know if you've noticed, I've got normal arms. He said, what? I said, I've got normal arms. I cannot reach that place in my back. How on earth did you think I was going to be able to change a bandage there? Well, by then he was in full defense mode, and he said, well, don't you have friends? Great answer. I don't know about you, but that pissed me off a little bit. It was like, really? Now, the first thing I thought about, and I actually think I did say it, was I don't have too many friends that are totally comfortable with ripping off bandages and seeing freshly inserted stitches. And that is perfectly true. Most people are not comfortable with that at all. I know quite a few that would just upchuck at the idea of that. So I'm sorry if you're one of them. So, you know, it's like, don't you have friends? I had this sort of vision of popping over for tea, you know, and going on my way home from work, of course, or maybe going to my work colleagues and saying, oh, you know, while you're in my office, could you do me a favor and just, you know, let me lift up my shirt and have you change the bandage? Are any of you understanding why I was a little upset? It was like, hello? Okay, I'm gonna breathe now. Anyway, it is on days like that that I'm inclined to look at him, and I've done it before, and say the words, I thought you had to be intelligent to be a doctor. I don't know about you, but when a doctor puts a bandage on my back, clunk, and doesn't say anything, I don't touch it. If a doctor puts something on my back, you know, and I did ask how soon until I can shower, and he said, yeah, gave me the time limit, and I said, okay, fine. I didn't even take it off to shower. I left it on. Because he didn't say take it off when you shower or anything. Now, it was quite interesting because I was talking about this in the broadcast, and there were quite a few nurse types on the broadcast, or people who had, you know, some sort of knowledge of these things. They said you're meant to get a piece of paper that tells you aftercare. That would have been nice. Instead of treating me like I was a raving idiot. Which we know I've lost my marbles, so but I found them again. I really do want to thank Sherry, who made that comment originally. Because Sherry, if you're listening to this one, honey, I need you to know you gave an awful lot of people a reason to burst out laughing. And what a wonderful gift to give to people. I cannot tell you how many people have written to me and told me you know, that as soon as I mentioned the fact I'd lost my marbles, that, you know, they burst out laughing. And so, and by the way, people are still talking about it, Sherry, so this wasn't just a one-day wonder funny thing. People are still laughing about it. And I've got a feeling, Sherry, with all due respect, that I will not be able to live this one down. You know, at my broadcast, people are talking about, did you find your marbles, Sal? You know, or what do you expect? You lost your marbles. You know, it's already become part of the lingo now. So, I do really want to thank you for that. as I keep saying to people, you never know how your contribution to life is going to help others. You never know how a simple one-liner like it's official, you've lost your marbles. You know, how a one-liner like that can have such an impact. But I want to tell you something, I am still laughing about it, and I've got a feeling I'm going to be laughing about it for a long time. And there's part of me that's really considering maybe changing my whole branding, you know, to DearMamaSal, who lost her marbles, and her search for them. I got a couple of really nice emails from viewers saying that we've made a difference in their lives, that their lives are enriched because of the listening to the vlogs and hearing the stories and understanding that life isn't perfect, and that's okay. And I just wanted again to thank you all for supporting us in that, because without your stories for me to talk about, I don't think we would have helped as many people.